how do you acquire your customers?
100% customer service. Your inflatables can be the cleanest they can be in the world. But if you don't interact with that customer, it doesn't matter.
High class level of service that you're providing. What kind of things are you doing?
Well, we did a slip and slide rental. But when I came back, there was a 3-foot piece of 4x4 wood shoved up against the front of the slip and slide.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the JumpOrange podcast. My name is Bridget, and today I have Mark Good, or also known as Call the Moon Man. Thank you, Mark, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So I'm going to talk with Mark today about how he was able to expand his business over the years by offering a higher level of customer service. This is actually one of the topics that he presented at our grand opening event. That was so awesome, Mark. Yes. Everybody said that they really could feel like your passion and your heart in your presentation.
Thank you. Yes. Many people asked me questions also after it was over.
Oh, that's
that was
great.
A good thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that you're willing to like help out the community and give them advice and kind of teach them what you learned. How long have you been in the industry now?
This is our 21st season.
Wow, that's awesome. So you've really seen it change over the years. And
oh yeah. Well, when my wife and I started this, there was nobody doing it. It appeared, and now everybody's doing it.
Yeah, and when we were new, you like jumped right in and we're like, hey, like JumpOrange, like I'm Mark, you know, you really
I started with you right when I believe it was 2016 or 15.
That's
when
awesome.
You came into the scene.
Yeah. We love that. You've always been a big supporter for us, and we love to support you as well. So let's get into it. So I want to talk to you again about your customer service and your customer experience. But let's start out by talking about how do you acquire your customers?
Well, most of our customers are homeowners. And we get new customers from those customers. We don't go out and advertise for business. We don't do any kind of that stuff except for what homeowners' response to other people are. Homeowners tell other people about us. That's about how we get our people.
That's awesome. So you get a lot of referrals. Do you get a lot of repeat customers as well?
Over 50%. It's over 50% repeat. And then the new people after that.
I'm sure a lot of those repeat customers have to do with the way that you provide that higher level of customer service.
We want to think so. I stressed for that. I stress very hard. I want the person to feel wanted, that they made the right choice.
Yeah, would you say that's like one of your top focuses with the company?
Absolutely. 100% customer service has to be number one first.
Yeah.
Has to be.
And so as far as that customer experience, like what do you do to provide a good customer experience?
Well, it all starts, like I told you before, when they first make contact with you. No matter how they make contact with you, whether it's through our website, through telephone call, through it's at the grocery store, they see our shirt. You have to just start with a friendliness conversation. I try to be friendly. I try to make friendship type friendliness. You want to interact with the customers. You want to interact with them when you get there. You want to interact with them on the phone when they call you. Mm-hmm. You want to make them feel like they made the right choice by calling you.
Yeah, definitely. And what if you've got like little kids running around at the setup?
Well, a lot of times, and we will all say it, sometimes it can be a real pain in the ass. But, on my side, I've worked with children since I was probably 18. So I deal with it differently than some. I try to involve them. If they want to come around and be kind of, a typical kid, which is not meaning to be a pain in the butt, get them involved, have them do something, even if they're not doing nothing. Just make it seem like they are. Involve yourself with them. That makes the customer service with the parents a lot nicer too.
Yeah, I bet like the parents love to see you interacting with the kids.
Oh, absolutely.
They're obviously spending a lot of money on their kids, so they really care about making their day special, and kids love to help too.
Oh, yeah. Well, they like to help, but they also like to help and be a pain in the butt and they know they're doing that too. Like they're shooting you with the water gun or something. which we've all had that
Oh
happen now,
yeah,
haven't we?
I'm sure. How many of you have been shot with a water gun at one of your
Exactly.
drop-offs? Leave a comment below.
Yeah, right?
We want to hear about it. Yeah, but like, I think you've told me in the past, like you'll kick the ball with the kid
Oh yeah,
or,
we've.
you know.
I mean, I've caught my guys, picking up the football and throwing it at them,
Aw.
and playing catch with them. You don't have time to do that at all times, but when the opportunity is there, you need to do that because that's just reassuring that customer that they made the right decision.
Yeah.
You always want to keep that as a back focus. That's your ultimate goal, is to make sure that they're happy.
And it's showing like your level of character as well.
Correct. And again, you can't always do that. You're always going to come
No.
into some situation that the yard's full of dog poop or something, or just the water hose doesn't have a good end on it, or just something. Everybody runs into that. I'm not saying we're all perfect, because we're not. But you need to do something to overcome it, and that makes the customer happy. So, I mean, you need to do customer service at all times.
And that makes them hire you again. That makes them the following year remember you and
My
that
opinion,
experience.
absolutely. My opinion, yes. I mean, I'm not a big Google review person. I look at that Google review stuff differently than some people. I could care less if I've got 1,000 Google reviews to 50. But it's what is said in those 50 Google reviews. And if you actually looked at my Google reviews, probably you could pull some up from this past week. There is always something in there of personality and presentation. There's always something in a Google review with me, and I'm only talking about me.
Yeah. And I've looked at your Google reviews and you have more quality than quantity for sure. And the quality of them are great. Like you've got the 5-star
And
rating.
that's what I believe in. I don't believe in seeing a business that's got 2,000 Google reviews that are all 5-star Google reviews. That's, to me, I feel that's impossible. But that's another story.
Yeah, definitely. So tell me, Mark, a little bit about the high class level of service that you're providing. What kind of things are you doing?
Well, when I got 2 different companies, and I've always tell everybody that works for me, no matter which one it is, customer service, you have to treat the customer first, no matter what. Even if they're mean, idiots, arrogant, we all get them. We just have to suck it up, and we just have to make sure that we do the best we can. And like even taking a rental to the job, I personally always make a point to survey the yard when I'm walking in it, when I'm back there talking with the customer. I look around to see what's there, what's not, because they always tell you they want the inflatables somewhere, but what is the best spot is where you would need to interact and say, or we need to interact and say, no, that doesn't look good there because it's bumpy. It's much flatter over there. I know your people aren't going to be able to see it the way you want them to, but we can maybe turn it to fit, make it fit your needs. You also, at the same time, you need to look around for obstacles that you don't want to have a problem around your inflatable. For instance, I'll get into that, but for instance, this past weekend, we did a slip and slide rental, and I know there was nothing around this slip and slide when we did it. But when I came back, there was a 3-foot piece of 4x4 wood shoved up against the front of the slip and slide. That was not there. I have pictures of it, so you always take pictures too, people.
Oh, yeah.
Please take pictures.
So you take pictures after you set up
When
before
we do
you go.
setup, I'll take a picture before we leave. And the homeowner couldn't understand why 13-year-old girls would move a board over there. Well, I don't know why either. But it was jammed all the way up against the front of the slip and slide. That
could
is a
damage your
hazard.
slip and slide and hurt somebody, right?
But the point I'm getting at with that is what I was starting to say was I survey and look for stuff like that. That could become a potential problem. There was nothing in the vicinity in this yard of any kind of wood, any kind of bricks, anything. So these kids brought it over there for some reason. Don't ask me why, I don't know. And so that's why I say you survey the ground, move stuff. If I would have saw that there, I would have moved that around to another bush or
Immediately.
something. Even if it's 10 feet away from your unit, move it. It looks good. It's safety. It's clean. I move toys. I'll move yard equipment if they have shovels sitting there. Just that extra little bit, it makes us look good, but it takes care of our equipment at the same time.
Yeah. So you're doing like both things for your company, but also for the customer. And I'm sure they appreciate it too, because it's a lot to like have to rearrange everything around the inflatables.
Well, that is true, but it also falls back to something else that we should have talked about a minute ago was with customer service, you want to make sure your people that works for you know this. They know that, okay, there's something in the way here or something too
Yes.
close to the inflatable. They just move it. Don't think it always comes back to the owner, which ultimately it does. It ultimately comes back to us who own the business. But if we train our people that work for us to do the customer service, to do it to the expectations that you want it to be, then it's an all-round customer service experience, in my opinion.
So you've really had to like work with your guys to train them to know what kind of level of customer service you expect for them to provide your customers.
Well, yes, you do, and even I would want to think that I do that as much as everybody else wants to think that they teach their people what to do. You can't teach everybody what to do just by a 2-day training seminar at your shop. It has to be an on-the-job training. You have to show them this is what you need to be doing. This is how I would like you to do this. This is the way I want you to address your customer. You don't want the boss to be perfect speaking and then the worker be a little arrogant little pain in the ass.
Yeah, so
you don't want that.
You have to lead by example for your guys. So
And
you
then
need
everybody needs to be on the same row, the same line. And if one can't ignore customer service and the other person do it, everybody needs to be on the same.
Yeah. You want that level of customer service, like you said, to be from the phone call to the drop off to like every employee that they interact with, down to like the shirt that you're wearing.
Correct. But again, like I said at the grand opening, our inflatables, your inflatables, can be the cleanest they can be in the world. They can be, your clothes can be the coolest looking, nice tie-dye shirts, what have you, cool hats, whatever. But if you don't interact with that customer, it doesn't matter how clean that stuff is. That customer is not going to feel entitled to want to call you back. And I think I gave a good example at the grand opening that it's just like a fancy restaurant. You could take a family of 5 to a restaurant, and you got the lady at the front at the desk that takes your number, your amount of people, and makes you sit down and wait. And if she's not friendly, you already have that sour taste. It doesn't matter if you eat a $200-300 dinner and it's great food, but that waiter's acts like an idiot. It doesn't matter. What's the chances of you coming back there?
No way.
Very slim. So it's the same with us with the bounce houses. If we don't make it a happy experience with them, and I understand it. There's sometimes, we've got a rapid fire go.
Yeah.
But if we don't do everything we can at that rapid fire point to try to make it a great customer experience, the chances of them calling us back, they can Google and get 4 or 5 other people to call. So I highly believe customer service, and I know you were going to ask me something, goes all the way to the end when we pick it up. I mean,
Yeah. How do you end it on a positive note?
well, like most of us know, like you have heard, pickup time, we're dirty. Most time we're getting dirty. We're getting sweaty. It's 94 degrees out here right
Whew.
now. Okay, just putting the boxes in my truck, I was sweating out
Oh,
there.
yeah.
So we can't avoid to be dirty when we're picking up, but we can be consistent and polite, and we can interact. Now, I don't personally let my guys get super filthy dirty. I mean, I've been knowing I have extra shirts in the truck that if they are nasty, they will change their shirt. Um, and even at pickup, though, you need to respect the property. You need to respect how and what you're doing. So, in other words, you don't want to go into somebody's property and run over their bushes with their dolly just because you're
No.
a lazy ass and, well, sorry, whoops. You know, when you go to pick up, you don't want to drain the water to where it goes into the tent or the tables and chairs where the
You
guests are
leave a
all sitting.
mess.
You want to drain it the other direction. You know, we always, well, let me go back a minute here because I forgot something. When we're setting up, you have to do a ground check after you're done. You don't want to leave the job and come back and find anchors laying on the ground
No.
that you forgot. That's a hazard. So when you go to pick up, you want to make sure all the anchors you pick up, a lot of the guys, including myself, will pick them up and set them on the ground because it's easier than carrying them around and then just pick them all up. You want to make sure everything's up. You want to make sure when you roll up your inflatable, you want to make sure when you take everything out of the backyard, you survey the property. You make sure that everything is gone. I tell and have taught my guys, you know, you roll up their garden hose when you're done. It's simple. It's a simple little thing that takes seconds to do. But
What a nice touch to add,
but
though.
the customer doesn't have to worry about seeing stuff out there. We also will rinse the grass down the best that we can. You know how sometimes, well, maybe you don't know, but you know how water slides will leave, you know, muddy places.
Yeah.
You may not be able to rinse it all down, but you can rinse it down to look nice.
Yeah.
Customers like that. If, like I said back at the beginning, if you move chairs out of the way or to open up an area when you leave, put that stuff back.
So simple, yet
it's-
such, like, so appreciated by the customer, right?
Well, it is, and a lot of customers understand we're in a hurry. We can't always do everything, but again, how many seconds does it take to just pull a couple chairs back, put a planter back over where you moved it out of the way, make their backyard, front yard, side yard look exactly the way it was when you got there?
Leave it better than you found it.
We would like to think we can.
And, like, you're really foreseeing any issues that can occur by doing that ground check, by moving the furniture,
Correct. You know, and I believe personally, interaction with, if you can make the person laugh, you're in.
Yeah.
And my wife will tell you, I could talk to some, just the other day, I booked, well, it was, what's today? Wednesday? Thursday. It was Tuesday.
Thursday.
Yeah, it was Tuesday. A lady called to book a rental. She had a gazillion questions. They were such a pain in the ass questions. It was like, I just didn't want to answer them. But I got her laughing. I ended up joking with her and her joking with me.
Yes.
And that is how you start interaction with people, how your customer service will guarantee you another rental and maybe another one and maybe even some from their friends. It's you know, the joking, because if you do that with them on the phone, they're going to have the same exact approach to you that they had on the phone. If you got them laughing and they're happy or they're joking with you or whatever, they're going to be friendly when you get
They're
there.
excited to see you.
Exactly. If you talk to them and it's just a, oh, well, yeah, give me your $30 deposit. Here comes your slide. I got your stuff. Okay, thank you.
They're going to
You're
be
going to
wary
be like,
to
yeah,
meet
it's
you.
not going to be a friendly thing. When we leave, most times it's the men. Very few times do you shake the woman's hand. They just, for some reason, they don't. But the men, I always try to fist pump them, or at least the kids. You know, hey, did you guys have a good time? And you give them a
Yeah.
fist pump. The parents see that. They like that. It's not like, oh, okay, whatever. I'm glad you had fun. Bye. No, it's like, you know, fist pump. I mean, I've had, because we're pretty adamant about our pickups. Like if their party's over at 3 o'clock, we're there usually 30 minutes after. And I know Some parties go on, and a lot of people just let it go until we get there. That's just the way it is. I've had kids say things to me like, death to the moon man, weird, stupid things. And you turn around and you interact with them when they act like that. And you make them laugh. You fist pump them. You change their demeanor, and it works. It works every single time.
Well, I think everybody wants to be seen and wants to feel connected and wants to like have more than just that high and buy. So really, like, that's what you're providing that kid. That kid feels seen, like that customer, whether it's the husband or the wife, they feel like, oh, he appreciates me renting from him. Like, he appreciates me being his customer.
Well, it's not just the customer that rents from us. It's like often you come back, there's 5, 6 other parents there.
Oh, yeah.
Those I always, myself, always try to interact with them. I always do, because I have 2 people that is always on a job, whether it's a bounce house or a water slide. Because of my previous injuries, I don't do anything by myself no more.
Mm-hmm.
So I have time to do customer relations while they're doing their job. And it's even that extra interaction with customers that are their friends makes a world of a difference.
You never know who's watching.
You never know.
You're creating the referrals right there. Just by saying hello and maybe striking up a conversation for a moment. And then in a year or 2, when they need someone, they're calling you. They're calling the Moon Man.
That's very, very true. Very, very true. And I believe that 100%.
Yeah. This is so awesome, Mark. Again, thank you so much. You're love welcome. Hearing your insight and all the experience that, you've labored hard to gain this insight. So the fact that you're sharing it with others out there really means a lot to the entire party rental community.
Well, I thank JumpOrange also for a lot of stuff. Not, just this interview. JumpOrange is a big influence with me. So, from the owners to all the workers.
Thanks.
Each one of you have impacted me one way or the other. And I learn a lot from you guys too. So I thank you for that also.
We love that. And we're learning so much from you as well. So thank you everybody for tuning in to our latest podcast episode. Make sure you subscribe and leave a comment below to let us know what you'd like to hear us talk about next.